Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today, we're going to review the Cadisen C8210M homage to a Rolex Yachtmaster. Let's start with the wrist check. I'm wearing this ice watch that I got from Joma's shop. And Greg was wearing my bim on the leather strap that I got because I hated the fake H-link bracelet that it was on. Grego said that Ben Solo is upset. He asked his mom for an official Boba Fett carbine action 200-shot range blaster with a compass in the stock and this thing that tells time for Life Day. And Princess Leia said no. Grego asked him if she was afraid he would shoot his eye out. He said no, she was afraid he'd kill his father with it. All right, let's take a look at the watch. It's a Cadisen, so it comes in this typical Cadisen box. I don't think I've ever seen a Cadisen not come in this box, and you've all seen my unboxing, so we won't go over the contents. And here it is. Isn't that a nice looking watch? I think they did a really good job with this watch. I've had quite a few Cadisens on my channel. They are basically on the same level as Pagani Design, but I really think Cadisen took a step above and beyond with this C8210M, whose quality seems to exceed the price point. The Yachtmaster has always seemed like the Submariner's flashy, blinging cousin, and this Cadisen nails the look and feel. The Yachtmaster was Rolex's acknowledgement that few people actually use their Submariners for diving, so they repurposed it for yacht racing, reducing the water resistance to 100 meters and giving it a bidirectional timing bezel with no lume on the bezel. Like most Chinese homages of watches with bidirectional bezels, this one has a unidirectional, since it is easier and more cost efficient to repurpose one of their dive watches. This Cadisen comes in 3 other colorways, either orange, white, or gray dials. I really like the gray dial with the blue second hand, but ended up choosing the blue dial with the red hand, as to me this is the quintessential Yachtmaster colorway. It would be my choice if I was ever to buy a real one. The watch is 40 millimeters wide at the bezel, 48 millimeters lug to lug, and it has protruding end links. It's only 12.3 millimeters thick, which is pretty thin for a watch like this, if you don't count the Cyclops, and I never do. Has a 20 millimeter lug width and weighs 147 grams on the supplied bracelet with 3 links removed. The bezel is Yachtmaster style, so it's solid steel. Of course, a Yachtmaster is platinum, but you're not going to get platinum on a sub $100 AliExpress watch. And the bezel action's nice. The clicks are solid, no back play at all. Clicks are a little light, but nobody cares if you knock this one out of alignment. It'd be nice if it was a bidirectional, because a real Yachtmaster is bidirectional because it's not a dive watch. Unidirectional is always just a protection when you're diving, because you don't want to knock it and make it think you have more time than you do. So if you're going to knock it out of place, you want to make it seem like you have less time, not more. Once again, these watches that need a bidirectional rotor are often very similar to a dive watch, and so the company that makes them just uses the same layout as the dive watch, and it just makes economical sense that way. But it's a very nice looking bezel. I think they did a good job with it. Then we have the dial. The dial is a nice dark deep blue with a sunburst effect. Then it says Cadisen automatic up top, and we have the logo that's all printed. Then on the bottom it says Neptune series. It's kind of hard to see the Neptune series because the red and the blue, there's not much contrast between it. It would have been nice if they would have used a different shade of red, but I guess nobody really cares if you can't read Neptune series. Then it says water resistant, 100 meters. And yes, you only get 100 meters, but that's fine. This is not a dive watch. This is just a highly water resistant watch. You're supposed to wear this on your yacht, so you're supposed to be able to survive ocean splash and not actually go in the water with it. Then we have the Lume indices. They're Rolex style with upside down triangle up top, batons at the 6 and the 9, and dots everywhere else. And the Lume is excellent. You'll see in the test later. And then we have a Cyclops. The Cyclops does a good job of magnifying, and it's nice and centered. It's kind of hard to tell that it's centered just because of the design of a phone camera. But when you look at the naked eye, it's centered perfectly. And the date fills up to Cyclops, so it's not one of them wimpy ones. A lot of people don't like a Cyclops. My opinion is I like a Cyclops as long as it does the job. And a lot of these Cyclops do not, but this one does the job just perfectly. Then we have a sign screw down crown. The crown action is just great. When you unthread it, you don't even feel the threads, and it pops nicely. And then when you go to screw it back down, everything catches right away, and you don't feel a lot of resistance when you screw it back in. You don't feel like you're ever going to strip it. So that's really nice. So I really like the thread action. Then we have a flat sapphire crystal, and it does have AR coating, so you don't see a lot of reflection. So they did a really good job with the crystal too. The biggest drawback of sapphire is the reflection. And so this one, it does just great. And then we have the case. This is basically your oyster style case, and it's very simple. But Cadisen's done a good job. It's fairly thin. It looks nice. It's brushed up the top, polished on the sides, brushed on the bottoms. So once again, the case is just a simple design, but they do it just fine. Then we have a screw down case back, and the case back is a coin edge. I usually complain about that, but I usually forgive it if it's on a Rolex homage, and this is indeed a Rolex homage. You need a 29.5 millimeter tool to open it. So that's a pretty common size. So if you don't own that tool, you probably don't need to buy the whole set, but you should at least buy that size if you're a watch collector. And then it says sapphire crystal, then it gives the model number, and then it says 10 ATM water resistant, and then it says Cadisen. One thing I didn't mention too, if you look at the steel around the dial, it says Cadisen in there. I don't know if you can see it. It says really small, kind of similar to what Rolex does, where it says Rolex in there, but this says Cadisen over and over again. So that's kind of a nice touch. Underneath the case back is the ever reliable NH35 movement. This is the go-to movement for the watches in this price range. It's a 24 jewel that hand winds, hacks, and has a bidirectional rotor and about 40 hours of power reserve. And they're usually fairly accurate off the shelf. I don't know if Cadisen actually regulates them when they put these watches together or not. But let's go ahead and put it on the time grapher and we'll see what it's doing. Here it is on the time grapher. As you can see, it's running about 12 seconds fast. So obviously Cadisen does not regulate them when they put these together. But there's little beat error. Amplitude's kind of low. But at least it's running fast and not slow. And once again, this is well within specs because I think the tolerance is up to 25 fast. So 12 isn't bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. And at least it's fast. The nice thing about running fast is when it drifts and you want to set it, you can just pull out the crown and hack it and wait for time to catch up. Unlike a slow watch where you actually have to move the hands. But not horrible. At least the screen's clean. You don't see dots all over the place. The bracelet is a 3-link oyster style. We have solid end links that are protruding. I'm not going to complain about the protruding end links because this is a 40 millimeter watch, and so I don't think it's that important to have inverted. If it was bigger than 40 though, I'd want inverted, but 40 I don't really care. Of course, if you have a smaller wrist, you might care. The center links are not polished, unlike a real Yachtmaster, which is kind of surprising. I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't want the polished center links anyway. It's just more stuff to scratch up. And I just think a watch looks a little bit cleaner when it's all brushed. Then we have screw pin adjusters. The heads are plenty big. And unlike Spaghetti Design 2, there's holes on the other end, so you can actually push the screw out. And then here was the biggest surprise of them all. We have a clasp that has on-the-fly adjustment. I'll try not to use the trademark term. And so that's great. So if you need to adjust the clasp, you don't need a tool. You just pull it out like this, then just move it to where you want it to go, then just press it back in. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So that's great. That's awesome, especially at this price point. You usually don't see this kind of clasp, because I hate the oyster style clasp that doesn't have the on-the-fly adjustment, because it's a real pain to use the micro adjust, because it doesn't have the holes on the side. You have to pry it open with a little tool. It's really annoying. Plus, often the Easy Link system gets stuck on me. So really like the fact that it has this clasp. That's excellent. And I had to remove 3 links to fit on my wrist, so the bracelet's plenty long. Here's the watch of my 7.5-inch wrist. I think that looks nice. It wears nice. This is a really sharp looking watch. Really nice looking. Comfortable, not too heavy, but it has enough heft that it has wrist presence. It feels solidly built. So really like this watch. Here we are in the Lume room, just wearing the watch. I knew the watch had excellent lume, so I really have high hopes for this watch. As we speed up the time, all I can say is wow. We have BGW9 on the hands and indices, and everything is glowing like a torch. Plus, unlike most Chinese homage watches in this price range, the lume distribution seems very even. It looks like you're going to be able to see everything just fine at the end of this test. This is excellent lume. Well done, Cadisen. What do I like about this watch? Stunning looks and wearability, on-the-fly adjustable clasp, excellent lume, great bezel action with no backplay, AR-coated sapphire crystal, and a cyclops that actually magnifies. What are my gripes and groans? None. I have nothing to complain about. To me, this watch is just about perfect, especially for the price. When you get a watch like this for under $100, you're really getting a bargain. Do I recommend this watch? Of course. This is one of the best value for money watches I have ever reviewed on this channel. If you are looking for a Yachtmaster homage, I really don't think you could do much better than this for this price. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Cadisen C8210M, and I will be back with another review. More than likely that bin bomb that Greg was wearing that I've been holding on to forever. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. Bye.